Cowboys Nation. How the hell y'all feeling right now?
Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? You know, your boy Mike Tag here, Kelly K9. I'm happy to be back in the cave. And I was watching that intro, and you said it so well, Cowboys Nation. How y'all feeling? I'm feeling pretty damn good after that win Monday night, going into the bye. I think obviously, we're going to get into it, but it definitely a much better feeling than it was last week. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And then before we get rolling, Kelly, I just had one quick announcement. Next Sunday, your boy and hopefully Kelly, if he can make it, we're gonna do a live broadcast before the game at Henderson's Sports Bar. It's in Tampa. They've got a Tampa Bay Cowboys Nation club. Your boy's gonna go in there and gonna be hanging with the Cowboys Nation. If you can't beat AT&T, this is probably the next best thing. So really looking forward to it. So if you guys are looking for some pregame before next week, man, you don't want to watch the mainstream media. I've been listening to their shit all week. This is a much better option. Don't you think so, Kelly?
Yeah, I think so, man. And I echo your sentiments. It's good to good to be back in the cave, and good to be back in the win column and have things, not complete. The ship's not completely righted, but it's headed in the right direction. We flipped the 180, going back the right direction now, compared to what we were, just a week ago. So feeling good about that.
No, much better. And everyone in the chat, we'll put up the phone number if you guys definitely want to call in. We will open the phone lines. We always enjoy doing that. If you guys like to do it, I know some people get a little nervous with it, but if you want to do it, I'll pop that phone number up there. But I'm going to need your help a little bit, Kelly. We did a post game show. If those of you guys don't know, I was in Houston, had some work stuff to do, so I had to watch the first half of the game on my phone. And then the second half in the hotel bar. We finally got back to the hotel. So it's not the best to watch it by phone. I got better watching it, at least in a hotel bar, but it's not the same as watching in the cave. But, initial thoughts. I mean, what was your, just looking back at the game, what was your kind of initial thoughts of the game? Just a quick summary.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those games where far from perfect in terms of the, just the overall game. It was kind of an ugly game. It was one of those games where the team had to battle through some adversity, though. Some of it self-inflicted. There was some penalties there. A lot of penalties, I should say. A lot more.
It looked like it was just flags. Both sides.
It was a flag fest. It felt like every other play was a flag. So hard to really get momentum when that's going on. It just disrupts the rhythm of the game.
Yeah.
But, I thought they had to deal with some adversity. I mean, Chargers go right down the field. They score. We get the ball and we do absolutely nothing with it. 3 and out. And, I'm thinking, damn, here we go. And then the Chargers get the ball back and they get a good punt return, onto their side of the field. And I'm just thinking, Jesus, man, what else can go wrong here? So turned it around. But, I think I said it in the post game, resilience was what was the word that I used to describe it, because no matter what it happened and how bad it looked and how, it's this team just kept coming. They just kept coming. They kept coming. They kept coming. The defense kept doing what they needed to do, getting timely stops, putting pressure. They had pressure on Herbert all night long.
Yeah.
So it was good to see that. But, you always want your team to be able to win some games like that, though, when everything doesn't go right and it's not the perfect scenarios, because more often than not, you're going to have to battle through some adversities in some of these games against tougher opponents. And, the Chargers, they've got a good offense. Their defense is not the greatest, but they got a good offense. So I like what our defense did against them.
Yeah.
And, we pulled out a win, and that's what counts.
No, and that's the most important thing. And I think we talked about it. You wanted to see CD get involved early and kind of make an impact. I thought he did that. I thought Dak, if you talk about the game, and again, you guys in the chat, and definitely Kelly, if I'm missing something, correct me. But I thought that this was one of his best games. And yeah, maybe he didn't throw 5 touchdowns, 4 or whatever. But when he got out of pressure and looked like he was sacked and he broke away and he, rolled out, threw on the run, that's when I think Dak's always at his best, is when he's moving around in the pocket. He's not staying so stationary. And I just thought this was, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I just thought this was one of the best games I've seen him play in his career.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought that he did a lot good. He as far as running the ball, I like the fact that he finally looked like he was moving and running that ball without hesitation.
Yeah.
Coming the inside, he's rolling out to the left, he's rolling out to the right. He's taking that ball, pulling out of that belly of Pollard for an 18-yard touchdown run. I thought that was really nice to see. It was a very well-rounded game. We've talked a lot about, hey, Dak just we don't need him to be running the ball like Jalen Hurts, but having the amount of carries, I thought that's the perfect amount of carries he adds. Of course, we don't want him to be our leading rusher every game. That was pointing that our rushing game is really hurting, but we'll get to that later.
Yep.
I thought, Dak, I thought he played a very well-rounded game. And I thought from top to bottom, he didn't throw for, as many touchdowns, 3, 4. It wasn't a stat filling game, but he threw some dimes. I mean, that pass to Gallup that Gallup dropped for the touchdown. I mean, that's a touchdown, and he dropped it right over 3 defenders. I mean, there was 3 guys in that vicinity, definitely double covered, but a third trailer, and he drops that right in the bucket. Gallup's just got to catch that, and then that's a touchdown. So, I thought he had a really great game, and it's encouraging that that we saw some of the things that we did, him using his legs in a timely manner. I think that will give him some confidence. And yes. I think that we'll see a little bit more of that. And at least I'm hoping to, because you can't watch a game like that and then as a quarterback and then see the positives that come from you being able to use your legs. That's your God-given talent. You are a mobile quarterback. Utilize that weapon. It's like having a Swiss Army knife and never busting out the blade. It's like, it's puzzled me why we went away from that and why Dak has not really done that. Because when he does it, in my opinion, that's what makes him an elite quarterback or one of the top 10 quarterbacks, So I like what I saw though Monday night.
No, absolutely. And the one thing, not to bounce around, you talked about the running game, and we both talked about it, but I was pretty vocal about it. I mean, absolutely, I love Tony Pollard. Don't get me wrong, but the concern I had was between the tackle running, the grinding it out. You're looking at Tony Pollard. Are we getting the best out of him because of what we're asking him to do right now? He's got 370 yards, 3.8 yards a carry. You got Rico with 3.8 yards a carry. Deuce Vaughn 2 yards a carry. I mean, the running game is just doesn't, in my opinion, again, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but it just doesn't seem like it's getting it done. So, that begs the question. And we kind of talked about it. We got a call coming in, but real quick, to me, it begs the question of do we need to start looking around? But real quick, let's get this caller in real quick before we change gears. Hey, what's up, man? Who's this?
This is Dave. What's up, Big Mike?
Hey, what's going on,
Kelly?
Dave? Yep.
You're
Over Mike Kelly. What's up, brother? How you feeling?
What's going on, big guys?
Oh, nothing, man. So we were talking about the running backs. I don't know if you've got any thought on it, concerned with our running backs, or, if you want to switch gears, we can, but we're just kind of talking about the running game situation with Dallas. How you feeling about it?
I actually posted this on Twitter. I think Kelly kind of threw something up today about Derrick Henry type deal, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at it because I know there's a little bit of rumor going around in regards to that situation, but I really don't think that's our problem. And I think Kelly knows exactly where I'm going to go. I think our O-line is just soft, man. Our O-line's kind of scaring me a little bit right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just don't see them moving anybody. I don't see any holes there for them to be running through. I feel like guys are getting hit at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. To be honest, I thought Rico ran the ball probably better than Pollard in between the tackles, like stronger, a little bit more tougher runs, but I don't know. Even in pass protection, this offensive line is kind of scaring me a little bit. I'm not feeling that power type line, and that's kind of concerning to me.
Yeah, Kelly.
Well, right before you came on, actually, when we started to bring up the running game, I was actually about to talk about that and say I don't think our offensive line is doing any favors. So I don't necessarily disagree that the offensive line, they are definitely not, run blocking has not been their forte this year. I think they've pass blocked better than they've run blocked. Now there has been some breakdowns in the pass blocking game, but Dak has had some games where he's had some time to sit back in the pocket and throw, or, even had some time to move outside of the pocket, make things happen outside of the pocket. But I agree. I don't think the offensive line looks great right now. Now, I don't know if some of those problems can be fixed by doing some shuffling. I really would like to see Tyler Smith. I know that, they've got him at guard. I'd love to see him continue at tackle, though. I just think that's where he plays best at. But I don't know. I don't know who's out there really that we could trade for. I hadn't really looked over a bunch of rosters. I do know that short yardage situations has been an issue. We don't get any, and that, that's not going to help if you don't get a push off the line. But if you do get it yourself, a bruising type running back, a big guy like Derrick Henry is where I'm leaning. And the reason why is because he can make things happen and he can make that offensive line look better just because of the fact that guy, you give him 15, 20 carries a game, and mix in some Pollard. He punishes guys. He makes guys in the fourth quarter not want to wrap up and make tackles. And that's when you get those home run type runs. So I agree. The offensive line definitely hasn't been doing the running game any favors, but I just feel like there's something lacking with them running backs, whether it be Pollard or whether it be Dowdle in this run game.
Yeah, and I think David, you're right with the offensive line. This is the second game that they've had all five. And sometimes it takes a little bit for the offensive line to gel a little bit now that they've got their five. Hopefully it stays that way for a while, but we know probably not going to happen. But to me, what makes Pollard special is something that we've kind of taken away. And what I mean by that is he's not an in-between the tackle runner. He 15 carries is not what you really want with him. What you want is maybe 10, 12 carries, some touches, but he's outside and they don't really seem like they're going outside. He's running in between the tackles and it's just not a strength of his. And that was my worry with this team. Are you going to wear him down? Is it going to be the Felix Jones effect that we saw? Is it going to be the same with Barber when they made him the lead dog? You had all these guys that were number two guys. And they, even in college, Pollard was not the lead dog. I don't think he ever had more than 15 carries. And it's a long season. And I just think that, it worries me down the road. And I'm just not sure what they're going to do or if they have a running back or should they be looking to get somebody with there's always going to be some trade bait out there. So that's my thing on Pollard. I'm not killing Pollard. I'm saying I want Pollard to be back to doing what he did great for the Cowboys.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I agree completely 100% with what you're saying, Mike. I kind of think that Rico runs the ball better in between tackles. I think that's where he's more suited to be. And in Pollard's, like you said, more of the shifty, throw him the screen, throw him the little, give him the little draw play type deal, get him into space type shit. You know what I mean? Like he kind of did last year. That's kind of the 1-2 punch they had with Zeke. That's the one thing that we are kind of missing with Zeke is that we had that 1-2 punch where, you didn't know exactly, where Pollard's going to hit that draw inside or, because Zeke was pounding the rock inside. So I don't know. And maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions. I just kind of find it that's my main concern. I'm not like overly concerned about what this offense is doing like everybody else. Yeah. Obviously the red zone is a concern to me. That's a big issue. But as far as what they're doing, moving the ball, I think that's not a huge concern of mine. I'm more worried about the pass protection. Like you watch that Niner game and you watch Purdy. Yeah. You watch Purdy in the pocket and you watch Dak in the pocket, and it's like Dak is shuffling. It's like he gets a snap, he's got a guy in his face. Purdy gets a snap, he's got 1 read, 2 read, maybe a 3 read. You know what I mean? He's going to his 3rd check down where Dak is like 1 check down. Shit, that ain't open. Oh, shit, 2, I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And so that's what's concerning. That's really concerning to me. And if we're going to be this West Coast type offense, we have got to be able to run the ball in between the tackles. And that to me, from what I've seen, is just super concerning to me, which I find it hilarious that nobody's really talking about that. And I've been preaching it for like the last 4 or 5 weeks because I haven't seen anything that's been like, wow, this team just moving people off the ball. But
No.
anyways, that was my take. That was my take. I figured we'd call and give you guys some.
No, I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the call, man. Thanks for the call.
Definitely. Appreciate it, brother.
All right,
No,
we'll
and-
talk to you guys later. All right.
All right, man. No,
And-
and he
and-
makes good points. I think he
Yeah.
makes good points. I don't disagree with anything he said there as
No.
far as the offensive line. I just think that last year we saw this offensive line take a little bit to kind of gel, because like you said, this is only the second game that they've had all 5 guys together. And an offensive line, man, is one of the most cohesive units on the team. You think about the offensive line. I mean, these dudes eat together. They walk out to the field together. They, that's a tight knit group.
Yeah.
So, when you think about them playing and, guys sliding into a different position to fill in for somebody that's injured, this and that, sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of gel. I think this is something they continue to work on. And I think they'll be okay. I just, if one of the things that we haven't seen a whole lot of though, in our, that I thought we would have seen more because of some of the speed we have, is a little bit more of the screen game, because we are running that West Coast offense, but we got a lot of speed, man. And when guys are pinning their ears back and like, hey, we're coming after Dak, rush this. I mean, you can mitigate that by running these screens, whether it be a bubble screen to the wide receiver or screen to the running back. You got guys like Turpin, Cooks, Pollard. Even Deuce Vaughn, we haven't really seen much of him. He hasn't, he's been out there. Hasn't looked pretty. But we've got some guys that have some speed out there, and we just, there's ways that you can utilize that speed to kind of make these pass rushers have to respect that you got some other areas to go. And Dak using his legs is one of those too, that I think that can fix some of these red zone issues, because if you make them have to respect your quarterback that he can run that ball in the red zone, they're going to be looking out for that. So, I mean, there's things that they need to work on. I think during this bye week, Mike McCarthy needs to sit down, watch this game tape, because honestly, a lot of what he has been doing it's been a little bit stale. And I think that, I think that this offense is capable of more.
Yeah, I mean, what surprises me is when you look at Cooks, and he's averaging 9 yards of reception, which is like, that's crazy for a guy his speed. You saw the end around he had. I mean, my God, I mean, he just took that and flew. I mean, the guy's he is fast, and there's just no reason for it. But the one thing that you see, and again, I saw a comment from Albert, with Zach Martin has been playing, up to his standards. Tyler's been really good, but then, there's other times he hadn't been as great. Steele has been the one that's probably been a little disappointing to me, just with even some of the penalties and then getting beat. And then, Tyron, again, he's probably on his last leg. So, a lot of people look at our offensive line and say they think that these are all it's just this great offensive line. And it's not that. I think it's a very good offensive line, but I don't think it's going to be to the level of some of the top offensive lines in the league. And to your point, that's where we've got to kind of use that pass rush, against them with the screens, using the speed that we have on the outside. I'm not a fan of wide receiver screens, but I'd almost look at some of those with Cooks. But the one thing that you see with the defense, I mean, you saw it last week with the 49ers and the Browns. Purdy didn't look so hot when he got a lot of pressure up in his face. I mean, I don't even know if he threw for 100 yards, but I mean, he was terrible. And that's what pressure can do. And I think that's where they just got to watch it.
And not only Brock Purdy, but Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, how did he look when he started having offensive line go down? This is why I say, man, that, and have said for a long time that they're not excuses if you got guys that are injured and you don't have a complete team and you don't have guys that are protecting you and doing your job. For years, it's like, the people talked about Dallas, that we had this great offensive line. And even the last 3 years, they've talked about it and said, we have the best. We haven't had the best offensive line since probably like 2017, 18. It's gone down significantly since then. And we definitely I wouldn't call this line a top 10 offensive line. I think somebody said that that we were rated as one of the top 5 O-lines in the league right now, which I don't know how the hell that's possible. I don't believe that. I think that's a bunch of fluff and just inflated shit because of some of the ways some of the games have went for the Cowboys, because I don't buy this as a top 5 offensive line. But when you look at guys like Purdy and look like Hurts, they struggled mightily when their offensive line wasn't out there, when some of their playmakers weren't out there. So it's like, everybody wants to talk about these guys that they're these all great, all world quarterbacks. Hurts is an all pro, made it to the Super Bowl. Well, look at him when you take away some of his weapons. What happens?
Yeah.
The
No, it makes
interception.
a difference. It makes a difference, and it makes a huge difference. But I want to get back into the Cowboys, but I want to just jump in because Uncle Cheech, we had Monday. I told you I had work issues and wasn't able to do anything, and it was unfortunate. But we got Uncle Cheech in the house, and Uncle Cheech, you talking about having a bad week. Uncle Cheech, he got a beat down. He got an old school beat down. I think it was 0 for 3, and he had one push. So let's get Uncle Cheech in here because he's got work to do. He's got to restore some confidence. Like the Cowboys had to restore confidence in Cowboys Nation. Uncle Cheech has got to restore some confidence in these Pickens because he could probably cost some of our valuable subscribers and listeners a little bit of scuttle, and we don't want any of that kind of problem. So let's get Uncle Cheech in here real quick and let's see what he's got. Uncle Cheech, what is the good word, man? Hopefully a little bit better than last week, huh?
Hopefully. Hey, I'm still 6-1 with my locks.
No, we don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to hate on you too. Everyone, hey, it's just like Cowboys. Everyone's due a bad week. We're not going to wave the white flag on Uncle Cheech. We're not going to throw him off the show. The man has a record. The man has years and years of great results. So we're going to let this one, as I sometimes call it, a little bump in the road. A little bump in the road. So
that's right.
But let's see here. Let me get what we got going on here. And move this stuff over. Let's see. There we go. So what do we got this week, Uncle Cheech? What are we looking at?
Okay, we got Ole Miss at Auburn. I'm going to take Auburn -6.5. Auburn's a tough place to play at night.
They haven't been very good, though, have they?
That's why I'm taking the 6.5. Tough place to play at night. Don't worry about it. Uncle Cheech worries about it.
And I just say, I want to make sure we end this streak. That's a tough game to pick. But go ahead. What do we got next?
Okay, Buffalo at New England. I'm going to take Buffalo -9. New England stinks.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah. At New England, you still think the Bills are all right? That's a rivalry game, but you're going to.
I don't care where they play. Atrocious.
I know you're right. They've been very bad. Very bad. All right. Well, let's look at your upset of the week. Now this one's curious. Go ahead.
I like my upset. I got Duke +14 at Florida State. Duke's got a good team.
Yeah, no, they do. Florida State has been. They have been on a roll. I thought I saw they have the longest winning streak. The active winning streak in college, and I think they've put up 30+ points in every one of those games. Oh, so it was some crazy stat I was seeing it by Florida.
Well, that's possible, but I'll take the 14 and Duke.
Okay. Well, and we'll see. Now, Uncle Cheech, I will say I'm trying to lock it in the week of Miami, Florida State. I'm not that crazy about the Miami, Florida State game, but might have a former Florida State from the national championship team coming into the cave. I talked to Jay Tuck. He's a Knoll, so we're gonna get some representation. I just gotta find a cane, and then we're gonna have a little battle there for a little rivalry week. I don't know if it's a rivalry. They beat the hell out of us last time. Probably gonna do it again, but we'll see what happens.
All right, my lock of the week.
All right, wait a minute. Lock of the week. Let me get that over there. Where are we at here? Let's see. There it is. Lock of the week. Now, this one's interesting. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll take Detroit +3 at Baltimore.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, Kelly, I don't know if you heard this stat. There's a stat going around as the team that's anointed loses the next week. The Chiefs were week 1, obviously returning Super Bowl champion, lost. There's been a list. The Dolphins dropped 70. Everyone said they're the best team. Lost the next week. San Francisco beat us. They said San Francisco's the best team. loss. So there's this role of teams that continue to lose when the media puts them on their high horse. What's your thoughts on this lock of the week, Kelly?
I mean, Detroit is one of the hotter teams. It's just when I look at Detroit, and I mean, I guess you could say this about a lot of teams. Hell, you could say this probably about the Cowboys. You could say this really about the Eagles. You could say this about a lot of the teams, except maybe the 49ers, which they even slipped up against the Browns. But the thing with the Lions is that their schedule really hasn't impressed me. I mean, they had they beat the Chiefs, which that was impressive. That was their most impressive win, I would say that. But then, lost to the Seahawks, beat the Falcons, beat the Packers, beat the Panthers, and then beat the Bucks. And that Bucks team, I think, was a little overinflated. I think their record was a little bit better than what they're going to end up. I think they'll end up with about 6 wins. Baltimore, it's been a tough place to play, but I could see Detroit pulling that out. I could see Detroit.
Who anointed their best team?
The media throws it. That's what they do. The
They're
media.
the underdog. They're the underdog in this game.
No, they're the underdog in this game?
Yeah, I'm getting Detroit plus
3. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was -3.
No.
How the hell are they the underdog with the Ravens?
They know as much as my next door neighbor. I need to
Hey, I will say I'd place some money. I'd definitely place some money on that Bills Patriots game. I think that could be a game where the Bills win by 3 touchdowns. I don't think it'll be anywhere close.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And I just got a couple things to say to Miami Hurricane fans.
Well, I know you've been a loyal season ticket holder for over 30 years. I'll be seeing you down there Saturday for another beatdown. We're probably going to have to witness, but we'll suffer through it. But what's up?
We're not going to get beat down. We're going to win that game. You heard
All
that
right.
from Uncle Chief.
I hope you're right.
First of all, for Facebook the next day, got to bench the quarterback. Put the other guy in. First of all, he threw for 391 yards, 4 touchdowns, had 2 picks, but 1 pick was went deep at the end of the game, trying to make something happen. He was responsible. They scored 31. He was responsible for 28 of the points. Do you want to put him on the bench? What are these people, stupid?
Well, I want to put him on the bench, so I guess I fall into that.
Let me tell you something. I went to Butch and the coach, too. I understand he screwed up. Him, too, they want to hang. I went to Butch Davis's first bowl game he took Miami to. They played Virginia. Had Tiki Barber on the team, Rondé Barber on the team. We won the game. He goes out in the middle field, holds up the trophy, and everybody starts booing him. 2 years later, they think he's the second coming. Feels the best team in the history of college football. So all these people, they can pound salt, or I don't want to say anything.
Pound sand?
Yeah,
you can say pound sand. That's
pound sand, pound salt. Hey.
Well, just real quick on the Canes. I mean, my thought of it, very frustrating, that North Carolina game. Different teams showed up in the first half, second half. Miami had the lead. The quarterback did not play good in the second half. The only reason I would say bench the quarterback is selfishly, I think the season's over. This team just doesn't look like they're mentally there. I think that game where he blew it in Georgia Tech.
We got 6 games left.
I understand that. I would rather take those 6 games, put our 5-star freshman quarterback in there that's going to be there next year. Let him get his feet wet. Let's see what we got him, and let's focus on the future.
I think he got his feet wet already. They played him a little bit.
He played some mop-up shit. He didn't play it.
That's the whole idea. You don't take the best player on the field and put him on the bench. I don't
know. He's a statue back there. He's a statue back there. This is the 1960s. He's got to move.
Dak played well last year. You want to put him on the bench next week?
We won. Of course not.
Okay, you won. But you lost 2 games, so 2 games.
Yeah, but college football's different.
I understand that. But
I'll say this, from an outsider's perspective, man, I know the backup quarterbacks at times can be a lot more alluring than the starter, but take it from me, at Texas Tech, we ended up being our 3rd string guy. I was like, come on, we need something different. What's the guy we got behind him? The 3rd stringer comes in, starts off with a 95-yard touchdown drive, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And then he proceeds to throw 4 straight interceptions. So Blow that out.
That's what I'm talking about. We didn't
Blow
run
it
the
up.
ball. We've been running the ball for 250 yards a game.
No,
We
I
didn't
know.
run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I mean, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. But
I'd rather end up 8-4, keep our recruits, respectable season compared to last year. We got beat. I think they beat us 40-3 last year in our house. Now this year in their house was only a 10-point differential, so there's improvement.
that's the improvement you're looking for.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I try to tell you.
That's the improvement you're looking for. Well, I got. Wait a minute. I got to bring someone else in here to see. We got to bring in another opinion because I don't know, Uncle Cheech. I gotta bring in another opinion here. My man Eugene Lockhart. I don't know if you're hearing all this stuff. What's up, Eugene? You look good.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
What's up, Eugene?
We're doing
What's up,
good.
Bob?
We're talking a little college football for a minute. Talk about the U. Miami. We love our Canes. But at what point do you I'm saying, do you switch the quarterback? Do you try and get a spark? Do you try and play for the future? He says ride it out. I mean, do you have any opinions when you're?
Oh, you talking about Miami Hurricanes?
Yeah.
Well, I know you like the Hurricanes.
I do.
But I think with the situation going on with them now, it's not too late if you still want to go to a bowl game. If it's not working for you, you got to get rid of it. I'm talking about just riding it out for what? What's the point of just riding something out? If that's just like the Cowboys just riding out that ass whooping they took 49-10, just ride it out, right? At some point, somebody got to ride in.
Yes. That's what,
Right.
I don't want to go to no bowl. I want to see championships. I want to say I'm sick of going to either the Chick-fil-A or the Tostito, whatever crap they throw out there to.
Well, you need to call Michael. You need to call Michael Irvin. You need to call Russell Merlin. You need to call some of the other guys back because in the very near future, I don't see it happening, Captain.
Oh man!
But
I'm driving down to the game. I'm going to see Uncle Cheech, and I'm hoping Saturday we could see something to be happy.
I'll be there. I'm going to be there.
All right.
That'll be nice.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, Uncle Cheech. We will see you next
All right,
All
Cheech.
right.
All right. All right.
You too.
All right, take it easy, big dog.
All right, man.
He had a rough gambling week, so hopefully he's going to redeem himself this week. But Eugene, we got Eugene, the hit machine. First of all, how are you feeling? More importantly, let's get that out.
I feel all right. I feel pretty good. Found out the other day that I'm cancer free now.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But as soon as I get done with the show, I got to check back into the hospital. I got to have another surgery tomorrow morning. So keep me in your prayers, Cowboy Cage fan. Keep me in your prayers.
No.
But remember this: we already won. Cause we take no prisoner. If you see me in the bear, help the bear. Cause we gonna win, baby.
No, ain't no doubt about it. Ain't no doubt about it. So we hadn't seen you. Obviously, you're taking care of yourself, so we don't want to go too far back. But
you
kind of called it. You called it with the 49ers, and unfortunately it happened with the Cowboys, but they did bounce back, with the Chargers. That was a game that they definitely needed to win, had some fight in them, had all that kind of good stuff. So, I mean, what's your thoughts of the Cowboys?
Mike,
what's up?
Mike.
Uh-oh.
If you really think after watching the Cowboys win over San Diego, if you really think that was a way to bounce back, they had problems winning that football game. It was easily could have went the other way. Again, as good as we want to think that this football team is, there's a lot of doubt because when you talk about the Cowboys and the upper echelon teams that's in this league, Cowboys are not close. If you really want to think about the personnel and the personnel they have, they're not close. When you look at a really good football team, you're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers. We are nowhere near that. And
now,
wait, let me finish.
Kelly, you're going to
And
handle this one. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Also, when you look at the coaching, now that plays a huge issue in what happened to the Cowboys at San Francisco. And look at this. Surprisingly, just by the grace of God, they had something to turn their way, and they was able to beat San Diego. San Diego was on their ass. And I'm gonna tell you something. This team is not as good as we thought they were. They have the name, but tell me like this. You know, when you see the 49ers, when you see really, really good football teams, they have elite guys that they know game time they can count on. They're going to show up regardless. When you see guys like the 49ers and the Eagles and those guys, when you think about the Cowboys, yeah, they have guys, but do you ever think they're always going to show up? No. I don't know one. I don't know one guy on that football team that you can count on, that's going to bring his lunch bucket and that's hungry. I told you, that's hungry, not sometimes, all the times. That's what happens.
Well, I'm gonna just throw this out here. I mean, we was talking about the upper echelon teams. I just saw one of the teams that you mentioned as an upper echelon team. I saw their quarterback go for 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and 280 yards against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
New York Jets.
Okay.
Now, if we gonna get our ass kicked, I'll get my ass kicked by a team that has our number in the 49ers. They've beaten us 3 of the last times that they played us. But if you're gonna sit there and tell me that the Eagles are in that upper echelon, and then they got smacked around by the Jets. And their star quarterback threw a game-sealing interception. I ain't buying that because
okay. Well,
we're gonna roll Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what,
we're gonna roll Philadelphia.
Don't buy it. I'm
gonna buy it
because
when
the
Dak
Eagles
plays versus
quarterback,
Philly, we own them.
just because the Eagles quarterback laid in there, you just watch and see. I'm just telling you right now, they're not that good. Your Cowboys are not that good. I'm just telling you right now. They got some good players. They'll show up every once in a while, period. They are not going to the Super Bowl. And if they go to the Super Bowl, they're going like me, catching a damn ride on an airplane. Now.
Well, first of all, that's bullshit. Pull that ass.
You didn't want to hear that, did you?
I hear it, but I'll tell you what.
There's too many excuses. You got offensive line got problems.
I understand everything you're saying.
Offensive line got problems. Look here. Brandon Cook finally caught 1 touchdown ever since he's been here. Now, you tell me something. This is as an elite wide receiver. Everywhere he's been an elite wide receiver.
Yeah.
And he just get his first touchdown? Okay. Where are all the other touchdowns coming from? Okay, let's see that. There ain't that many. Really, look at it. The Cowboys.
We're the highest scoring teams in the league.
Beg your pardon?
We're one of the highest scoring teams in the league.
Yeah, including preseason.
No. Hey, Eugene, let's just cut to the chase. Let's just cut to the chase.
Let's talk about it.
All these teams are flawed. Let's just be honest. All these teams, they have flaws in them. I want to ask you a serious question. You look at why are the Cowboys treated differently? The Eagles lose to the Jets. It's swept under the rug. The 49ers lose to the Browns and a backup quarterback. Backup quarterback is swept under the rug. Why is Dallas held to a different standard than these other teams? I'm just curious.
Cowboys, because of the mystique, Cowboys are America's team. And when the Cowboys were the real Cowboys, I don't know what you call this piece of shit. When we're the real Cowboys out there, we were America's team. We had real owners. We had real coaches. Hey, we had to walk a fine line. We came to play. We was goddamn hungry. We was hungry. I don't know what this piece of shit that you march out there on Sunday and you win a damn game. I tell you what it is. This team looks like the owner. bad.
Yeah.
Bad. You can tell me, you can say whatever you want to, but the product that's on the field and what's happening with the Cowboys goes all the way back to the top. Leadership. I promise you, 49ers not going to go to sleep and not practice and not do the thing because Kyle Shanahan's going to demand it. We can talk about Mike McCarthy, this, that, and the other. Again, his guy that he fired almost kicked his ass. Look.
Get the hell. The Chargers weren't in that game at all. Were they ever? I mean, help me, Kelly. I didn't feel 1 minute in that game that the Chargers were going to win or were beating us.
Other than the beginning of that game, not really.
Come on, Eugene.
Nah. Okay. What was the score?
It was 20-17. But Dallas dominated.
If that was Philadelphia playing against them, or if that was San Francisco playing against them, what do you think score would have been?
I don't know. Judging by the way they played against the Browns
everybody have a bad game, and everybody don't always prepare. Right. We'll give the Cowboys that for not preparing well enough against the 49ers. Okay. Let's go to the rest of the season. And try to figure out who's hungry, who really wants to win on this football team. Let's figure out now, because it's some griping going on now. CeeDee Lamb is griping because he's not getting up enough balls. Rightfully so. Where's the ball going in? Is it going to the other team on interceptions or going on fumbles? Again, let me ask you, where's it going? It's not going over to Brandon Cook, and you brought him in. He's probably one of the best in the league. Where's it going? Not too many passes going to Michael Gallup. Where in the hell is the ball going? Where's it going? Tell me, where's it going? Fumbled or intercepted?
No, come on.
Okay.
He had one bad game with interception.
Let me tell you something. The deal is with me, I call it for real. I played in this league a long time.
Oh, I know. I trust you.
Okay, let me tell you something. This is bullshit. Okay? I'm not trying to. I love the Cowboys. I want them to win. Let's don't get it wrong, fans. I love the Cowboys. But again, reality has checked in. And I tell you what, if they don't get some guys really, really healthy, and you get some guys that's really, really hungry, if you don't get some leadership to demand some respect off the field, to go in and play and look at film on Thursdays and Fridays, if you don't get somebody that really is damn hungry, that really care about winning, this reputation, if you don't get somebody in a hurry, it's going to be bad. McCartney going to get fired, I swear to God. If he don't get his ass up and start coaching like he's supposed to, because I'll tell you what, now I'm going to tell you something else. Dan Quinn not looking too good either, y'all.
Yeah.
Everybody got him up on this pedestal, but I'll tell you what, teams are figuring him out. You give a team an off season, 2 off seasons, to find out what you're doing, to find your strength and your weaknesses. You got to watch out. You got to make some adjustments. You can't come with the same stuff every single time on offense. You got to do some moving. You got to move some guys, create some confusion. You got to create a doubt in the defense to make them know that, hey, we coming, we going to beat your ass, running the ball, throwing the ball, special team. Somebody got to create some fear in the other team that make them want to come out and play. Have we done that? No. Tell me, when are we going to do that? When? This out where? During the bye week?
Well,
hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my thing though. Outside of that Cardinals game, which obviously that was just a shitty game, and so was the Niners game, and I can't excuse that. But when I look at this Cowboys team and that Chargers game, I saw Marquise Bell sure as hell looked hungry. He was getting his chances at linebacker position. He was running all over the field.
That boy played good, didn't he?
And
that boy played good, didn't he? Let me tell you something else. Let me hold that right there, Dave. Do you see now what the 49ers did on offense? How they double teamed Micah everywhere he went, right?
Yeah.
You haven't heard his name too much, right? He's going to eventually come through because he's never going to give up. You saw the Niners do it, then you see the Chargers do the same exact thing. So their teams are starting to pick it up, what they're strengthening, and they're taking it away from him. But if they doubling him over there, somebody else ought to be free. That defensive tackle, I forgot his name, but he played an excellent football game. He was getting off the ball. He was doing his thing because he was hungry. And I tell you what, man, it doesn't take a Phi Beta Kappa. If you double team, somebody else got to whip somebody else and get free. That's just it.
Yeah. And I think that's why we saw the Chargers not be able to put up the points that they could have, because there was some plays where they had guys running wide open. Justin Herbert couldn't get him the ball because we had that pressure on him. And what I did like was that, Micah in relativity had a pretty quiet night, but when we needed him to step up and make a play, he made the play, sacking Herbert on that 2nd and 5, making it the 3rd and 10. Then pressure created right up the middle again. Ill-advised throw, intercepted Stephon Gilmore.
Right.
So look, I think that I like the defense. I think they've been a little shell-shocked since the absence of Trayvon Diggs, which we all knew that was going to be hard to overcome. But I mean, I absolutely think this team does have work to do. But when I look around at the rest of the NFC and I see Jalen Hurts struggling with the Eagles, having 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, along with another fumble to go, he's turned the ball 8 times over. When I look at that, when I look at San Francisco slip up, have a game that they lost to the Browns with their 3rd string quarterback, basically. I mean, it was a 3rd string guy that they lost to. So I look at things like that and I think, okay, Dallas and San Francisco, I think that's a bad matchup. But anybody else in the NFC, I mean, I'm looking at the schedule. We got to play a lot of the same people. The Eagles got the Dolphins coming up. They got the Cowboys twice. They play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Niners. I think that Eagles team over the next 7, they may be lucky to go 3-4, 2-5. I mean, they're going to lose some damn games playing like that.
I'll tell you what, if I were you a Cowboy fan, I wouldn't put my eyes on somebody else. I keep my eyes on my own damn team. Let's see what they're going to go.
Hey, you're right. We got to start it off with the Rams next week.
Respectfully so. Let me say this. Everybody is going, it's a long season. This is a long season.
Yeah.
And you can never say when somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Back up. You'll never know when somebody may go to jail. You never know the entire season, right? Until perhaps you get really, really close to the end and when the playoffs and stuff start to come.
Yeah.
But it's vitally important. You must win the game that you're supposed to win, Arizona. You don't lose that game.
Yeah.
Perhaps you'll slip up and lose a game that you perhaps could have, should have won, but something didn't go your way. But you got to win the games that you're supposed to win. You can't go out there and say, well, we had a downtime and we rebounded. No. Somebody's got to step up, man. I'm just saying, I want to see this football team do extremely well. And sure, you cannot blame the defense totally on Trayvon Diggs. They haven't been throwing too many interceptions his way. I think the kid's been playing pretty good.
No, Bland's been playing good.
He's playing pretty good.
Playing pretty damn good. He's making plays.
Yep.
And again, we just want the entire team, every game, to show up. Not the offense this week and the defense, because we do know this. I think we should know this by now. And if we're going to win a championship, it's going to be because of the defense. I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah. No, I'd agree.
But also, when you do have a chance on offense, you got to be able to run the ball effectively, play action pass effectively. Every once in you got to go deep. You got to keep them off their feet. We're a football team that you never hardly see them go deep. And I guess that's because of Dak. I don't know what the reason is, but every once in a while, you just need to air it out to let them know that you're not afraid to do it, right? Because then if you don't, that will dictate the way the defense plays against you.
Yep.
If you don't do that, they're going to say, well, they're going short to medium. Did you see how they were playing cover 2 the other day? And the tight end was going straight down the seam. Nobody on him. The safety was outside in the corner. Nobody was on him. Wide open. See, that's the quarterback not understanding what cover 2 is. Cover 2, the weakness of the defense is the seam.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the wide receiver release outside, they got to take a man-to-man. If they come inside, then the safety's got to double. It doesn't take a Phi Beta Kappa. So I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. And I love Dak Prescott. But, man, I'm starting to worry. I really am. I know he got more and more commercials now and all this, but I'm really starting to worry. Let me also tell you this. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to be too long. On defense, when the Cowboys are on defense, third down situations, if you look at the San Diego game,
Mm-hmm.
they did some of the same thing the other teams are now doing on third and long. They're spreading them out. They run them upfield, right?
Yep.
Now you got the defensive line that's out of position, and you got the defense guys chasing those guys, and the quarterback is running. You'll see a whole bunch of that. If you go back and look at that game, you will see what Justin did. He was just running the ball. First down. Or he played like he running, dump the ball off. Yeah. That's what the teams are doing to the Cowboys now, because they know they're out of sync and they can figure out what coverage they're in. If they can figure out that you man to man and you gotta go, bam, that's a great situation for the quarterback to tuck his tail and run.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to ask you if it's fixable, but more importantly, we had our poll for Eugene Lockhart's Hungry Player of the Week. This was the final. I want to get your response. It was a tight race, but we had, let's get it on here. We had our 3 nominees: Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and we also have Marquise Bell. Dak Prescott got 47%, Marquise Bell got 33%, and CeeDee got 20%. So Dak, the fans believe that Dak Prescott was the Hungry Player of the Week. Now, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm glad, and I know how bad Dak wanted to bounce back, and I'm glad he was able to make some throws. He heard CeeDee Lamb, I need the football.
Yeah,
and he saw him, and then when he looked at him, that boy didn't miss a ball. He missed a ball. But then, again, you still got to be a really good quarterback and know when to do it and know not. You cannot keep Gallup and Cook out of the rotation. You got to be smart enough to spread it around, and then you still got to be able to get your guys involved. The good thing, the bad thing about having 3 great wide receivers is there's only one football.
Yeah.
One football. But anyway, you still got to be able to pass the ball around and keep everybody involved and keep everybody somewhat happy. I'm so glad that Dak did bounce back. He had a pretty good game, not that many interceptions. So congratulations, John. Dak, you're hungry, baby.
He's hungry this way. But more importantly, and a serious question, Eugene, I know you got to bounce soon, but I mean, looking at this team, is it just as simple as hungry? I mean, do they have the talent? Is it all in the want to and in the head? Or do you think this team is not talented enough to handle one of the upper echelon teams and get to the Super Bowl? Is it a talent level, or is it a mentality and a hunger level with this team?
I think, to me, I just don't see the hunger aspect of it. I just don't see this team playing with a chip on his shoulder. Every play, every game, every situation. Somebody ought to be mad, and mm-hmm. somebody ought to get it going on defense. And I tell you, once you get a defense fired up and you got 11 guys going to the football, and you say, no, you're not going to get 100-yard rushing on us. When you get that kind of mentality, when you got people on the defense talking about it, you better get your ass to the ball. You better get to the ball. And you demanding that where it becomes second nature. You got to have some fun at this game as well. And you have fun when you're kicking ass. You got to have fun at this game. You have fun when you're hungry. And when you're hungry, you eat. When you eat, you go to Super Bowl. I don't know about you today. Are you hungry?
I know I'm damn hungry. I told you that. It's been 27, 28 years.
Fired up.
I'm hungry as shit. Now, I don't see the fire on the sidelines. I mean, I know when you played, I mean, you're going to get in somebody's face or someone's going to – Troy Aikman, I mean, Kelly showed the video of that. I mean, do you think this – do you want to see some of that on the side? It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of –
You want to see it.
You
want to see it not on the sideline. A good day, congratulating guys. You want to see it on the field when somebody make a big play. Everybody ought to be coming up letting them know that's a big play. I'm talking about when you do all of that, when you add all that 9, 10 people to the ball, you're going to intimidate that offense. You're going to intimidate that running back. He's not going to want to run because he know he got 11 hungry guys after his ass. He going to want to fumble that ball, get down so he can get on the sideline. I'm telling you, there's something about a hungry cowboy. A hungry cowboy can't go too long in the woods without getting to something to eat. He needs some grub. I'm telling you, somebody, if not everybody, gotta be hungry. I'm hungry right now, y'all. I'm hungry.
We need to get you with Michael
Eugene,
Parsons.
I got a question for you before you have to get out, man, because I'm curious on your opinion here, man. We're coming up. We got a bye week. Trade deadline is coming up quick. If we could trade for anybody right now in the NFL, there's been a lot of rumors and stuff, position-wise or other. Where do you think we need the help at the most on this team?
Kyle Shanahan.
Well, that ain't going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Is that the same Kyle Shanahan that gave up a 28
I'll be all on board to do that. No, position-wise, though, where do you think this Cowboys team needs help at the most right now?
If I had to say anywhere, man, it had to be on the offensive line.
Yeah.
The offensive line, and as I told you guys, we went through the whole offseason.
Yeah.
I told you guys what the position that worries me the most is running back. Is running back, man.
Yep.
I just promise you, and you see, these guys, Pollard did an awesome job. He said now, he was the one that was hungry. He should have got hungry. Did you see the play where he bounced off of all these guys?
No, that was beautiful.
Position to win the game.
Yeah.
That's hunger. That kid there gives an effort. Every time he shows up when it looks like the offense was dead, this man turned around, took about 6 or 7 guys hitting him, and bam, and still goes 60. Come on, man. Who else? Come on, man.
Yeah.
But he gets tired. You got to understand, he doesn't have the weight and the things like that to carry it, just like Zeke was.
Yes.
You got to have a 1-2. Yep. And this position worried me. But if the offensive line is doing what they need to be doing, you shouldn't have a problem. We got to be able to run the ball effectively in order for this offensive team to be any kind of a team that help a championship win. You're not going to go far. You may get there with 10, 12 wins, but you're not going to go far with it being the way it is now. I don't give a care what you say. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. No, Kelly and I talked, but the offensive line just has not looked like we hoped. I mean, Steele hasn't looked good. I mean, Tyler Smith's probably been the best one out of the bunch, but it's just been, Tyron is been a shell of himself. They got to get something, and I don't know if you could fix it. I think they've got their 5 guys, and you hope that they gel and hope they get hot and all that kind of stuff. But I'm worried. Like you, I'm the running back on that word, especially
on the offense and the defensive line.
Yeah,
you gotta show some type of emotion. You got to be able to intimidate at some point in the game. Just making a tackle, put something on somebody, man, and then go up and let them congratulate each other. Again, man, I
wish we could suit you up to play because we need a guy like you out there for sure.
Buddy, I didn't do nothing but talk because that's why I stayed in such good shape, because I'm going to talk the whole game. I'm going to talk about you, and, I'm going to talk about, some things that we can't discuss right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you hear it. You're going to hear about it, and then I'm going to repent after that and go to church. Yeah. But anyway, we go. The thing that kept me alive was I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun. I didn't have the best of talent, but I had fun. I enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed kicking somebody, but I enjoyed beating the guys that they say you can't beat. I enjoyed those things. Everybody else that get 100 yards rushing on, we enjoyed stopping the run. And that's the kind of camaraderie we had, man. Again, we just need everybody just to take inventory of themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and for the leaders to step up, let's go to somebody's house and let's watch some film and let's do some things. I'm talking about you gotta have some kind of edge. Something about you gotta be different than last year or the year before. You gotta do something together. You never see this football team together. Never see 2 or 3 guys together anywhere.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
No.
Everywhere we went, we had somebody with us. We were a team, not
You had a
individual.
traveling basketball team, for God's sake.
Yes, indeed. We did it all, man.
Well, I want to put something in perspective for our listeners, because some of these new ones they don't understand. So put it in perspective with the Dallas Cowboys. Their leading tackler right now is 39 tackles in 6 games. Eugene Lockhart at this time in a season had 83 tackles. That's what we're talking about, a hitting machine. That's what we're talking about, going after it. That's what we're talking about, bringing your lunch pail to work. And I'll never.
How many did he have?
Our leading tackler on the team right now is 39. 39 tackles.
I tackle my wife more than I do that shit. I tackle her more than 38 times. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come and you.
Yeah. I'm saying that's how good you were, man. That's how I'm paying homage to you because
I'm just saying these guys making so much more money. They run so much faster. What is it? They not hungry. His machine just get hungry, boy. Get out of the way.
You go to the doctor. You go to the hospital, Marta. We don't need any high blood pressure.
Lower the blood pressure,
okay, man.
That's all right too, man. But I'm hungry.
I'm telling you, man. We need to get the campaign to get Eugene in the locker room, man. You know how they have Michael Irvin on the big screen and he does that speech? Shit, get Eugene in the damn locker room and let him give the speech. Let him light a fire under somebody's ass.
Jerry ain't gonna let me in close to nowhere. Jerry, but I tell you what, if he want to win 10, he'll call Eugene. I can talk to him. I'm telling you the truth. Jerry, I love you. And Cowboy fan, y'all hear me. Jerry, give me a call, man. I need to come and get these guys ready to play. Hey, Jerry, forget me and you. Give me a call, dog. 214-536-5654. Again, Jerry, it's 214-536-5654. Hello, Jerry. How you doing?
And you can even call collect if you're too cheap to pay for the call.
Yes, sir. And you know what? I would love to do that, man.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, when it becomes a mentality in everything that you do in game of life, a situation like I'm facing now, I'm facing cancer, fourth stage of cancer, I'm having fun kicking his ass. And when I get done in about a week and a half and I get back on here, I'm going to be so sharp and cool and clean because it's going to all be done with the Hit Machine team.
Well, that's the mentality you have, and that's what we love about you, man. And I just tell you, what else anything you got going on that the fans need to know about? Obviously, you're going.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I know you got the turkey drive coming up.
The first of the year. Now, I've been really, really sick for the last 3-4 weeks, and I haven't been able to raise the type of funds that I need for this turkey drive that's coming up. I even thought about not doing it, but I do know this, and I'm asking you from the kindness of my heart, if we can get some people to donate some money for us so we can continue. This is our 26th year doing the turkey drive. And we have fed tremendous amounts of people. It's not about me. It's about the people. And I tell you what, I feel bad because I'm sick and I'm ill right now. But still, I started working on it hard today. I still have to push. And if it's whatever you can give, please help us to be successful at this turkey drive and things that we're doing now. And that's the most important thing that's going on in my life right now. I gotta have surgery tomorrow. It's not important. What's important to me is that we get out there and have those same people that we can feed that need it, that have 6 or 7, 8 grandkids, don't have shoes, and Cowboy fans. If you really want to win big, and just give something to somebody. I promise you, just give something to somebody, and these guys will appreciate it. None of the money goes to me. Every dollar goes to the turkeys and delivering the turkeys and smoking the turkeys as well. I know you guys are going to come through, so I'm calling a touchdown on it right now.
Well, definitely. Here's something I just want to tell all the listeners. If you want to help, we're going to set up we'll set up a fundraising thing either through a Cash App or Venmo.
Right.
But more importantly, what you can do, Eugene Lockhart's on Cameo. I'm on Cameo, but Eugene Lockhart's on Cameo, and he brings the passion. You can see it. Have him do a custom cameo. That way you're getting your money's worth. You're going to get a custom video from Eugene Lockhart.
Yes.
He's going to bring you the hype. He's going to give you birthday wishes, wedding, hype you up for the game, whatever it is.
Man. That's right. Whatever it is, I promise you, we'll come up with something that you're going to be totally satisfied with, because I know it's going to be absolutely wonderful. And while I'm on this, I want to tell the young man that did this for me.
There he is. He's on. That's Cuts by Jones.
Man, I appreciate it. Absolutely awesome. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I'll never forget it. Thank you. And if there's anything that I can do for you, jersey-wise, sign it for you, whatever I can do, just let Mike know, and we'll be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, we definitely Cuts by Jones is a sponsor.
I tell you, this is absolutely awesome. Yeah, that's right. You see that number right there? That means you are hungry.
Yes, sir. Hungry.
That's right.
Hungry.
So, man, I got to get out of here.
Yep.
I got to go check in the hospital.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I know they have an off week this week, but I'll be in touch with you guys. Give me a call tomorrow.
Yes.
I think the surgery is going to be pretty early in the morning. So give me a call. I'll be up and at them and ready to get up out of there. So keep me in your prayers, Cowboy Cave.
Absolutely. Eugene, all the best, man. We love you, and I definitely be talking to you soon.
I love you guys. God bless.
Sir, love you too, man.
Take care.
All right.
Take care, brother.
See ya. All right, man. Well, I tell you, he definitely brings the hype. He brings the hype.
He does.
But yeah, just one more time, I wanted to say it is, if you really want to help Eugene, he's on Cameo. I'm on Cameo as well. Anything I get from Cameo from this point forward to Thanksgiving, I'm going to donate all the money to the turkey drive that he does. He's done it since he was a player. He's done it, and then you could do the same. That way, you get something for it. It's not, hey, you're getting some value for your money. So definitely, if you guys can do that, that would be awesome. But we'll also come up with some fundraisers, maybe some raffles, some drawings, stuff like that we can do to raise money and helping other people, man. We've all been, I think all of us have been pretty fortunate in our lives. We all had ups and downs, but helping the people that need some help, man, there's nothing better than that, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Eugene is a guy that comes in and, you know what you're going to get with him every time, man. So I'm glad he's doing good and glad he's kicking cancer's ass, man. But if you guys want to give, we definitely can facilitate that towards getting Eugene some, it's the thing that he does, that turkey drive. That's all for a good cause. So, I will say, man, I love my brother Eugene. I love my brother. I think he's a little bit too hard on my boys. I think he's a little bit too hard on my boys.
We gotta wonder. Is there any kind of anything he was taking to relax himself before the surgery? Because I took offense to it, and I know where you were going with it, and I'm glad you did. I wanted to go a little bit harder at it, but it just,
Well, I couldn't, I couldn't let that slide when he said the Eagles and the Niners. I was like, wait a second, hold on, pump the brakes here. It's not like they lost to any elite teams. I mean, let's face it, the Browns are decent this year. They got a great defense, but they're not elite. You definitely should be able to, if you're the Niners and you're, this great all-world team, you definitely shouldn't have lost to the Browns and their third-string quarterback. And you definitely shouldn't have lost the Eagles if you lose to their practice squad player. Now, again, I understand what it says. I'm not looking at these other teams and trying to judge my success based off what they do. But if we're going to get criticized over a bad loss to the Niners and a loss to the Arizona Cardinals, then I'm on the line of Micah Parsons. Bring that same heat and energy when it comes to the 49ers losing to the Browns and the Eagles losing to the Jets, because we took care of business with the Jets, and they had Sauce Gardner and they had their number 2 cornerback. They didn't have either one of those two guys.
They had practice squad guys back there.
Neither one of them. As a practice squad guy, made the game-sealing interception on Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. If that's not about the picture of mediocrity, I don't know what is. So.
Well, and I wanted to get into this after he was done, because it's a topic that gets a lot of attention, and it's why the media, and Micah Parsons touched on it, and I kind of touched on it a little bit, and I know you did as well. I've accepted the villain role. I've accepted that when the Cowboys lose, I'm going to get annihilated on social media. When the Cowboys win, nobody's around to say anything. And it just seems that with the media. And I'm so mad because I tried to find this clip. I saw it, and then it's stupid Twitter. You refresh, and then it like disappears. But It was at Colin Cowherd. I think it was Nick. Someone did it. I couldn't find it, but they played a clip of him before the game talking about the Chargers. He's taking the Chargers. Chargers are a better team. Chargers are this. Chargers are that. Chargers are that. And then the Monday show or the Tuesday show, the Dallas beat a 2-3 Charger team. We gave them a third loss. They were 2-2. The Cowboys are overrated. The Chargers aren't that good. They hadn't won the division in 14 years. Yeah. They started saying so. It's just so funny. I love when everyone clips these things together, because the narrative changes. Right, everything changes after the Cowboys win.
So
it's beyond frustrating. But what's your thoughts on it?
Own your shit, man. Own your shit. These guys act like that these things aren't put out, and that people can't go back and watch and revisit what you said. And if you have a bad take, own it. Just own it. Just say you were wrong. If you're Colin Cowherd, just say, hey, I'm wrong. I was wrong on this. Instead of moving the goalpost, changing the narrative. And you're right. It happens a lot. Joy Taylor's been caught on doing that. Acho has been, caught on it. Shady McCoy, Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith. The list goes on and on of these guys that spit all this, this BS, and then come back and completely change up and switch up what they said and move it. Listen, at the beginning of the season, I said the Eagles would go 9-8 is what I said, 9-8, and I'm sticking to that. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Then so be it. Because look, I said I thought Deuce Vaughn, that I thought he was a guy that was going to have 1,000 yards from scrimmage, whether that be receiving and running. Sure as hell don't look like that's going to happen.
I might be lucky to get 100.
Yeah, I'd be lucky to get. We were lucky to get like 200. So he was inactive this last game. So you know what? Yeah. So far, that's looked like a piss poor take from me. I was wrong. I'll admit that I'm wrong. I'm not push the narrative and say, well, Mike McCarthy's not giving him a chance to play. If they would give him a chance to play, my prediction would come true. No, just own your shit and back up what you're gonna say, man. And speaking of that, just one more on that Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want to dwell too much on them, but I'm looking at that next 7 games, and here's where my prediction's gonna start to come fruition. They got the death. These next 7 games, actually, really the rest of their schedule on out, because they even got the Seahawks in there. Nick, you can count. Really the rest of their way, it gets significantly harder for them. And I think in the next 7, honestly, I think they're going 2-5, man. I don't think they're beating the Dolphins. I don't think they're beating us twice. They may squeak out a win over us, but if it worst come to worst, I think we split it. I don't think they're beating the Bills. I don't think there's a lot of teams that are out there I don't think the Eagles can beat, because Jalen Hurts has been very inconsistent, throwing picks, turning the ball over. They've got some injuries on that offensive line. That defense is porous and leaky. So listen, we may have some problems when it comes to the 49ers. I think that's more of a matchup thing. I really do. I do think we have our own issues that we need to address and we got to fix and shore up some things. But I mean, when I look down at it, I think the Cowboys are still in the mix in the NFC. I think it's the Niners. I think the Eagles to some extent, but I think more honestly, the Lions. And then, right now you cannot look at a team in the NFC and say, hands down, this is the team that's going to play in the NFC Championship. I just don't see it.
No. We talked about the NFC. It's pretty much, we said 3 teams, and the Lions were the wild card. They obviously look legit right now. I mean, you throw them in there, so you got the 4-team race. I mean, that's pretty much what you're seeing in the NFC. I just like Joy. Is that her Joy Taylor?
Oh God, I fucking hate her, man.
And it's the thing is, what frustrates me with these people, and it's why I sincerely turn to YouTube and the content creators in Cowboys Nation. It's why I listen to most of those shows now. Is it's personal. It's not journalistic. It's not giving reasons why. I mean, one guy on there said he hates Dak. I hate Dak. And what the hell did Dak? I'm amazed by why people hate him so much. I don't know what he's ever done. All I know is you hear his story. I mean, his mother dies of cancer when he was in college. His brother tragically committed suicide. He's had a very tough challenge and road. I mean, he's been shit on by the media for all these years. He does everything right. I've never seen a bad article written about him. I've never seen one person say he was a jerk when they met him. If you don't like his football, then break down his game. But just to say that he sucks and there's no validation, and you say, well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Well, Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl. I can give you a laundry list of great quarterbacks that didn't win the Super Bowl, and that doesn't, you're not going to put him at the elite level. That's fine, but don't tell me he's a trash quarterback.
Well, what I liked, and he's been a little more consistent. I'll say this, but Joy Taylor got on this kick, and she said, the reason I don't criticize Jalen Hurts the way I do Dak is because Dak hasn't got past the divisional round. Jalen Hurts has shown that he got to a Super Bowl, and and she's like, Josh Allen's shown he can get to an AFC Championship game. Dak has shown he can get past the divisional round. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and then, Acho chimes in and he says, well, listen, here's the thing. He said, if you're going to sit there and talk about this is what Dak is because he's consistently shown it, then you have to kind of take away the thing about you're saying that Jalen Hurts is a consistent guy because he had one good season. And his rookie season, other than that, he had his rookie season where he didn't really play, started a couple of games. Next year, he won 9 games. He looked pretty pedestrian. Then he had the one good year when they added talent. They did great. Now you look at him this year, still got that talent around him, but what's he doing? He's 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's not playing very great right now. They've kind of unleashed it a little bit more and opened up the playbook for him. And he, and kind of be like, hey, let's try throwing the ball. We don't need you running the ball all the time. And now look at him. He's more of a pocket passer, and he don't look like the guy from last year. So you can't tell me that that Jalen Hurts is the model of consistency because he hadn't looked that great this year. And now he's starting to have a couple of injuries pile up, and you're seeing what he does without these playmakers. Look, Dak has dealt with that his entire career. Yeah. And, some years worse, more than others. But what Dak has done consistently is win. He just hasn't been able to do that in the playoffs. And, and I get that point. And if you want to criticize that against Dak Prescott, that's fine. I get that. But Dak has been a consistent winner, and he's put up numbers. And I think he's still a quarterback that can absolutely win a Super Bowl. I just think he's got to get that monkey off his shoulder. 2 things. 1, beat the 49ers, show that he can they got to get over that hump, but that is not just Dak. That's play calling. There's a lot of things that factor into that, man. Yeah. But I can't put it all on Dak. To get me wrong, I've been frustrated as hell with Dak Prescott after that 49ers game. I wanted to pull what little bit of hair I got out of my damn head because of that performance out there, but it's not all on Dak, and we can't always just point it all to the quarterback when they lose. We can't give it all to the quarterback when they win. We got to look at the entirety of the picture. So,
yeah. Well, I want to give a shout out to I think it's Holy Terror. Hopefully I'm saying it right. She tagged us, and here's the Colin Cowherd. I just wanted to play it for people.
Plus 2.5. They're getting healthy. Here comes Austin Eckler. He's back. Where the Chargers have struggled, it's 4th and 1, 3rd and 3. That's Austin Eckler. The O-line's fine. Herbert's great. Keenan Allen's going to be a Hall of Famer potentially. They're not good in short yardage. Now they will be. We told you Trayvon Diggs' injury would change the defense. Also, the last 20 teams to face the Niners are 1-19 the following week. Chargers win it. Dallas has been overwhelmingly all talk for 25 years. They beat the 2-3 Chargers, a team that has not won their division despite having Phillip Rivers and Justin Herbert, really good quarterbacks, in 14 years.
So that, I mean, that's, he's hyping him up for an hour, telling you got to pick him in your, in your bet, and then he's trashing him. So, I mean, that's
absolute. Winston subbed it up. He's an absolute tool. Colin's a tool. Yeah. He is, and that guy is one of the most obnoxious, pretentious people in the media, because the way he talks, it's not even really ever opinions. It's almost like he talks in absolutes, like he just knows for a matter of fact.
Arrogant.
But man, he has changed his tune more times than the damn piano, man. I mean, that dude just constantly spitting out one side of his mouth, saying one thing and then saying the other. That's a perfect example of it right there, which I'm glad people are starting to call.
And the thing is,
out on this bullshit
and I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to be arrogant. I'm not trying to be cocky, but how the hell does that dude have a job at ESPN and Tagging K9 don't have a job at ESPN or FS1? I mean, we do a hell of a lot better job than he does. I mean, we call it for what it is. I mean, we love our Cowboys. Don't get us wrong, but we'll be hard on them. We've been critical of them, and
that's right.
As long as you're backing it up, it's fair. But it's just it's frustrating. It's like Mike Bassick of 105.3. He comes out before the Chargers game and just says, "Is this the game Dak's going to get hurt?" And just the comments of it. And all right, am I being a baby about it? Whatever. I just don't understand what purpose does that bring. Why are you being negative, wanting, saying he's going to get hurt? This is the time he's going to get hurt. He's going to, if break down the game of why Dak's not good, why they're not going to win with Dak, or all of that, I can respect that. If you break down the numbers, it's just like you said, San Francisco, he hasn't played well. I mean, if you look at his playoff career, his games have been okay, except for San Francisco's been shit. And he has to own it, and we got to call him out for it. He's the primary reason. You hate to say it, but he's one of the big reasons why they lost both of those games.
Yeah. And, and David said it a couple of times. I've seen a couple other people say it about, it's the clicks and the ratings. And it's true, that it's what moves the needle, is talking about the Cowboys. But so for as many people that love the Cowboys, there's probably quadruple amount of that many people that hate the Cowboys, right? If you got 10 million people tuning in to watch a Cowboys game, probably 5 million of them, maybe 4 million Cowboys fans. The other 6 million are people that hate the Cowboys and are watching because they want them to lose. I mean, that's just the reality of being a Cowboys fan. We're the team people love to hate, man. I mean, my guy Cowboys Fan Talk on Twitter always talks about it, most hated. Talks about Dak Prescott, most hated. Shit, it's the Cowboys franchise as a whole is most hated, because they hate us. So anything negative that gets spewed out, people love that. They love to jump on it. What I really hate, though, about the things and kind of the way, and I don't want to go completely off topic here, but what I really hate about the way the media is, as in general, and this applies to sports, this even goes outside of sports, is how people have just lost the decency to have respect for another human being. You can think that somebody is bad at their job. You can think that somebody is overrated without going to personal insults, without saying this person sucks, this person is ass, this person's trash. Like, I mean, whatever happened to a little bit of respect and decency? And, I mean, look, I may not like Jalen Hurts. I'm not calling him trash. I mean, I may mess around and stuff and tell a guy something on Twitter and say he's a bum, but I think Jalen Hurts is a good leader, and I think he's been a pretty good quarterback. Do I think they, whatever, we won't go too deep into that, but it's just like the fact that these people in national media have just made it a commonplace to just disrespect people. You're seeing it more and more. It's just like, how is that media? How is that where we should be?
Supposed to be professional journalists.
It's supposed to be professional. Exactly. Professional. That's the key word, professional. I can call somebody a bum on Twitter all I want.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there in front of millions of people talking. That's professional, right? I mean, you don't go to your job half drunk and high and stoned and shit. You go professional, shirt tucked in, ready to go to work, ready to put your day in. These guys just they're not doing that, and it's starting to become the accepted norm just to trash these people, and that pushes the ratings. And then so you see guys like, Stephen A with his shtick, and that's been working for him. So now you've got Colin, you got all these other people that pile on because they want to milk that Dallas Cowboys cow. Is what it is.
And it translates down into the fans, and it translates down. I mean, you see the fights you saw at the Chargers, man, there was a melee there, and then there was a fight in an earlier one. And so when you keep spewing this, it's just like I was on a plane when I was heading home this morning from Houston. So I get on the plane and I'm wearing my Dallas Cowboy. This is what you get when they give you the gift at a club collection. So that's what they get for all that money for those seats. They send me a shirt. But no, I'm wearing my stuff, and I always dress in my Cowboy stuff, So I go to sit down, and when I'm on a plane, I got my headphones in. I don't I just don't talk to anyone. I sit and watch a movie or whatever. The guy started talking to me. He goes, "Are the Cowboys going to be any good this year?" And I just, right when they do that, I'm just going to be honest with you. I already got I don't want to say Hulk up, but I'm on edge. So my look changes, and I know my tone of my voice changes. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I don't know. Why, they're no good? And then he's like, well, Dak Prescott, if they had anyone besides Dak Prescott, I mean, he just sucks. And I said, let me ask you. I said, why does he suck? I said, give me what's your thought? Well, he throws all these interceptions, and I said, when? I said, are we just talking about last year? Or are you talking about his whole career? No, his whole career, he just turns over the ball. I said, yeah, that's not right. I said, that's not accurate. I said, and what's going on this year? Well, and I said, so I didn't know who he's a fan of. So I was trying to figure it out. And then he came clean and said he was a Lions fan, and he's going to the Cowboys-Lions game at the end of the year. And I was like, yeah. I said, well, and I was complimentary to the Lions. And then he's like, man, I was just busting your chops, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. I said, no, it's fine. I said, it's cool. I said, I get it every day, man. 24/7 as a Cowboy fan, your guard is up and you're on edge. But I guess the point what I'm saying is I always use it for cable news. When you hear the shit being spewed every day over and over on a 9 o'clock show, 10 o'clock show, you start believing all of it. So all these fans and all these haters, they start believing everything that they're hearing because Stephen A's saying it, then this one's saying it, that one, all day they freaking say it.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes, and it's just a constant thing. And I don't know, maybe it's getting the ratings. I don't know if it's getting them the ratings. I see them firing and laying everyone off left and right, and it seems like cable television is going downhill. So, and YouTube and the content creators and all of them, their stock is going up. So, I don't know if it's going to be good for them in the long run. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's I don't know either, but I do enjoy when a more, I guess, casual fan or whatever that has been listening to all the ESPN spewed garbage and probably watches those shows and takes stock that they're saying what's on there is correct, and when they start talking to you about stuff and then they don't really know who they're talking to when they start saying that shit, because I never let that go unchecked.
Yeah.
Somebody starts talking about, Dak Prescott being garbage, this and that. I start bringing up actual factual numbers. I'll have guys breaking out their phone trying to Google fact check me, and then they're like, oh, well, that's right. He knows what he's talking about. Like, if you're going to have a conversation with me, I will deal in facts and logic. I'm not going to deal in opinions and regurgitated fucking Stephen A. Smith takes and all that other shit. You better come something real, because look, if you want to debate whether Dak's a top 10 quarterback, that's a debate I can have with you all day, and we can go over all that, and there's a lot that would go into that. I can get that, but when people tell me that Dak is trash, that's just not true. He's not trash. If people tell me, oh, Dak's an interception machine, that's not true. Again, like, we look at this year, what he had 3 interceptions in one game against the Niners, right? He's got 4 this year, and he had 3 in one game. So he's thrown 4 for the year. 3 in one game. So he's not been turning the ball over this year. I don't know, man. Just people
it's BS. But hey, I
people
want to
love to
make sure you
hate.
guys hit that
Embrace it.
like, subscribe, share. I always forget that if you're new to the show, picking stuff up. But we Falk had a question. So he said is anyone else tired of Dallas set to make moves before the trade deadline question? Hear that every damn year. It's just another way to talk about Dallas. So I mean, Dallas has never been known to be a team to make moves, and I don't know if they will now, but you got to think that they think. I mean, they got to think that they got to do something, right? Don't you? I mean, I don't know if they can.
Well,
Just
they've got room. They've got salary cap room. So, and I know they're saving some of that to pay some of their other guys. But here's the thing: you see the Philadelphia Eagles go out and they got Julio Jones. Now, I don't think Julio Jones to be no game changer or anything like that, but this is the second year in a row that Philadelphia at the trade deadline has made a couple of moves. You know, they made the Ndamukong Suh move and grabbed the other D-line guy last year. They made some moves at positions that they thought they needed to kind of improve and get some depth upon. Well, they're doing it again this year. Cowboys here, they're sitting at 4-2 in a good position going into a bye week. I think that this would be a good time to make a move. Now, will they? You know, history would say probably not. But, you know, you look at a guy like Derrick Henry, you pick him up. This is the last year of his deal. He is I read online, I read that today. This is the last year of his deal as a free agent after this year. So you pick him up. It's going to be he's a rental basically.
Yeah.
So what are you going to give up to give a guy like that? You know, I don't know what the asking price would say. I'd say it's probably going to be somewhere in that neighborhood of probably a third or fourth because they could keep him and let him walk and get a mid-round compensatory pick. So you're going to have to go a little bit better than that. So probably a fourth, maybe a third. But if you think about it, could you give up that for a guy that takes your offense from here to here? Yes, it's absolutely worth it because look at our third round pick from this year. You look at our third round pick from last year. I mean, just look at any third round pick or even some of the fourth round picks outside of Dak. Are those rookies coming in next year and going to immediately take your team and move the needle as much as a guy like I think Derrick Henry would do? I think the answer is no. So, I mean, if you got a guy like that, an impact player, or if they can go out and get a linebacker, you know, I think we're weak in the linebacker position. I wouldn't mind seeing a move there if they can go out and snag somebody from the linebacker position. You know, I'd like to see that. Something to improve this team and let the fans know, hey, we're not standing pat. We see we're 4-2. We see where we stack up in the NFC. We know that we're pretty close. So we're going to make a couple of moves. Yeah. So and I'd like to see them do something.
Yeah, and I hear Patrick Surtain's name. I don't understand. It would make just no sense why Denver would trade a top cornerback on a rookie deal. It would make no sense. I don't know why.
Well, he's about to get paid too.
But he's still got a couple years, right? I mean, he came in
he got drafted. I believe he got drafted in the same year as Parsons, so they would have one more year after
one more year, and you can do the fifth year option.
Fifth year option, yeah.
So really, 2 years before you really gets paid. But cornerbacks are hard to. I mean, he's a top 5, arguably a top 5 cornerback at a young age. Why would you? I mean, if we
could have to give up a lot for him.
I just don't think it's realistic. I just don't see why Denver would do that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would absolutely do it. I just don't think it's realistic that it's going to happen because first of all, you're not getting him for any less than a first round pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just not. He's a first round talent. He's going to be a guy that's going to get paid. And the thing is, if you get Surtain, you're only keeping I don't know that he would even want to do that. You go over there and he's like, look, I'm not, he may play for one more year and then may say, you know what, I'm going to sit out until I get a new contract because he's going to be a guy that's going to demand top 5 money. So you're giving up a first round pick for a guy that you're not going to be able to afford to pay when you're paying Diggs. You're about to pay CeeDee Lamb's going to get his, CeeDee Lamb. Diggs already got paid, but you're going to still have to pay Michael Parsons. You've got other guys that you're talking about extending Dak, different things like that. I just don't think Surtain, you're not going to have the money to extend him and give him the kind of money that he's going to command. You're not putting that kind of money
into a question. Would you give up your first next year for him right now? I mean, I would.
I mean, if that was a deal that Denver would make, yeah, I would, just because of the fact that I think that if we gave up our first and we have Sertan and Bland and Gilmore, then I think
Yeah.
Sertan makes up for the loss of Diggs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would. And the reason why I would is because this, man. Look, I love draft picks. I love that Dallas is built through the draft traditionally, but right now, I would give up every single goddamn draft pick we have next year if we could win a Super Bowl this year.
No,
Every single one. All of
yeah.
them. Every one of them. Every one.
No,
No draft
I,
picks next year. I don't care. I want to win now. I want to win now.
I'm with you, and that's. I mean, you're again, and I know a lot of people said no. I mean, if you win the Super Bowl, you're talking about a 30th. If you go to the Super Bowl, go to the championship, you're in the 28 to 32 range
Right.
for a top 5 cornerback who's
Yep.
only been in the year 3 years, and you got 2 more years that you could get him, and you could arguably franchise him for a year if you
Yep.
wanted to. And I
Yep.
mean, you got Diggs is going to be a few more years in his contract, and Gilmore's not going to be there. And I don't know. To me, a cornerback, there ain't no way in hell if you can get a cornerback like that, I would do it in a
I
second.
mean,
That's probably the only position I would give up a first for.
right. And
You know?
and here's the thing, man. I'm making one of them shirts like the Rams GM said, that F them draft picks. Absolutely. Because here's the thing, man. Give up a first for Satan this year. You got him the rest of this year. You got him next year. You could pick up the 5th year option. Can you think about what this defense looks like with Sertan on one side and Diggs on the other side and
Yeah.
Bland in the slot?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the most stout secondary in the NFL. That would be hands down the best secondary in the NFL. So again, if you're talking about, because the Rams, they did that. They mortgaged the future to capitalize on the present. And look, what good are these draft picks if you keep going in the same kind of little cycle or whatever that we've been going in? So now we're over here wishing, hoping on a prayer,
Yeah,
man.
Sertan, it would be idiotic on Denver to trade him. I can see them trading Judy, and I've heard Judy's name bounced around, but I just don't know if
I don't think we need another wide receiver.
I don't think we need another receiver. And a lot of times, receivers and quarterbacks, they got to mesh a little bit. And
we're not even throwing to the guy that we traded for. We want to get another wide receiver. I mean, shit, we're not even throwing. We just started throwing to Cooks this last week, man. Let's get Cooks involved in the game plan. I think we're okay on wide receiver. I'm fine at wide receiver.
One topic that was talked about a lot on our post game show. We got a lot of questions, a lot of comments. Gallup. I mean, are you losing faith in Gallup? Would you not mind seeing Tolbert getting some look at the number 3? And I mean, what's your thoughts on?
I would like to see more of Tolbert and the getting some more reps in the field. Not necessarily because I'm losing faith in Gallup, but just because I feel like that Tolbert had a really good offseason, and I feel like he had a really good preseason. Well, what's the point of making all that work and that progress if you're not going to give the guy some opportunities? And we're just not really giving him opportunities. Part of that's because we haven't really been throwing the ball a lot. We've had a lot of, it's the start of the season been kind of weird, right? Because the defense scoring a lot of points, teams getting shut out. You're able to run the ball, control the ball. You haven't been throwing the ball a lot, but that's going to change. You can't, we can't depend on the defense to score, 10, 14 points a game. Hell, you can't even depend on them to score every single game. So you knew that was going to kind of level off, which means that your passing game is going to have to pick up. We saw that a little bit with Cooks, Gallup with the drop in the end zone. So, yeah, I think we do need to see some more of Tolbert. I'm not ready to give up on Gallup. I think that he's had some plays that I'm sure he wishes he could get back. But, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think we should work Tolbert more on the field. I think that Turpin should get a little bit more time on that field as well. So I don't think they should be complacent and just be like, hey, we got 1, 2, 3. I think Gallup should be interchangeable. I think they should move in Tolbert. I think they should have, even run some 4 wides, man, and have, put Tolbert out there with Gallup and Cooks and Lamb.
Yeah.
So,
and I think what Eugene said is what you wouldn't mind seeing is create competition. I mean, it shouldn't be a given that that's your 3 wide receivers and that's the way it goes. I watched a lot of the Cowboys game on my phone, so I don't know if Gallup played as bad as what is perceived? Were they drops, clear drops, or were they contested? I mean, Kelly, you probably got a better take on it than I do. But if you're seeing something, they give other guys a shot. Let's create competition. It's like what Eugene said. The one thing I would agree with, and again, we can't see all the sideline stuff, but it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of anger sometimes, from the leaders of their team or
emotion,
these kind of stuff, emotion or passion, whatever you want to call it. It just seems like everyone just, Dak sometimes has that kind of dazed look on his face, or just kind of like just sitting there, and CD was off to the side, and Parsons sometimes does that. It's just, you don't see that dog of, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. There's sometimes it doesn't seem like there's much of that fire and emotion on the sideline. So,
yeah.
The good thing is it's a long season.
Long season.
A lot of areas to be fixed, a lot of things that can be tweaked, a lot of things that can be added to the game. I think that we saw some positives from the offense in that game against the Chargers. And look, the trade deadline, it's gonna come, it's gonna go. I hope that we make some moves, but if we don't, we got to roll with what we got, man. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, again, you got to make moves. People got to want to make the moves with you. I mean, you can pick up some free agents, but I mean, if these guys are on the street now, more than likely there was a reason that they're on the street, right? You're not gonna pick up some diamond in the rough, just as a free agent sitting out there that hadn't played all year. So it'll be interesting to see. But anyway, we've gone an hour and 45, and we've done a great show. We had Eugene and Uncle Cheech. So we tried to fit two shows into one. So we're going to bounce, but it is the bye week. So it's a chance to kind of recover. I'm heading down to South Florida, going to go check out Miami and Clemson. Hopefully Miami can make me feel good. It's been a tough few weeks. And then, like I said, more importantly, when the Cowboys come back, well, I've got some travel stuff with work the next couple of weeks. So Mondays are going to be a pain in the butt for me, but I'm going to make some stuff up and we'll get some shows going, but should be good for our Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. But we are going to do, or at least I'm doing, if Kelly can make it, he'll bounce in, and maybe Eugene and some others. We're going to do a live show before the Rams game. I'm going to be out at Henderson's. I want to make sure I got it right. Henderson's, who's the Cowboys. It's kind of like the Cowboys Club in Tampa Bay. So any of my peeps in Tampa Bay, I'll be posting it on Twitter. Come out, hang out with us. It's a huge crowd, a lot of fun. So we're gonna have a great time down there. So definitely come check us out. And then anything else you got, Kelly, that I missed?
No, man. Just enjoy the bye week, guys. It's it's a stress-free weekend of football, man. We get to sit back and see if we can gain another game on our NFC East rival there in Philly. I mean, if they lose the Miami Dolphins, which I fully expect them to do, we gain a game without even playing a game. So that is always a thing of beauty when you can have that happen during a bye week. So I enjoy the bye weeks, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will miss football on I'll miss football on Sunday that it's the Cowboys ain't playing, but trust me, I'll still be watching football, and there's some good things that can happen for the Cowboys without us even playing it down.
No, absolutely. Could be another great Sunday. So you guys have a great one. We will see you. If we don't see you later, might see you sooner. If not, we'll be back next Wednesday. You guys have a great week, rest of the week, and great weekend. We'll see you. Take care.
Peace out.
Meeting is going to be commencing real soon because we getting ready to get this party started. Can you feel me? Can you?